Today we have Mason Kuhr, the king of the holistic transformation.
I look at myself in the mirror and there was like this moment of grace where something internally just flipped a switch and I was like, I'm done being this way.
Founder and owner of the Divine Nectar supplement. This individual is a business owner and entrepreneur with a big mission. That is the awakening of the NPCs.
So I got this glimpse of the ultimate reality and gift from God, and I experienced that. And since then, it's been like seeing this light has guided me, and I've been on this journey of self-mastery and going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
And in today's episode, he will reveal his story. Hey guys, welcome back to another Bali Talks episode where we have Mason. It's such a pleasure to have you here today, brother.
Bro.
If you could give us a little introduction about yourself, how you got here, your journey, where you're standing right now, and where are you planning to go?
Yeah, so I'm Mason Kuhr, founder of the Stampede Network, a holistic performance brand. Listen, I'd give a whole intro, but at this point, I don't really know what I'm doing. Other than, I say I'm helping people find God, really connect to their souls. So I'm in this, spiritual quest arc of my life, where it's the past few days I've been doing breath work with people randomly, not structured, just people are wanting to transform. And it's where I feel like my life is about transformation with other people at this point. Spent the last few years on this self-mastery journey to really master my emotions and clear out all the things internally that are controversial. And so now it's becoming this thing where I want to share that as much as I can, from the state of what I've been through and what I've learned. I'll never share something I haven't gone through. But yeah, it's just this new arc of, I don't know really what's going on, but I'm following whatever the gut is telling me to do.
We really don't.
Yeah, no idea. There's no meaning.
Let me ask you something. So when do you find God?
Whew. I mean, I've had direct experiences. The first one was back in 2019. I had this massive spiritual awakening. And it was after this ego death, right? So my entire, and it wasn't substance induced at all. It was from suffering. So the best kind. And
Touching rock bottom. That's what people say. And sometimes you need to touch rock bottom to go and touch the sky.
Yeah, you got to pull the slingshot back to shoot it.
You need to understand that the ego is the killer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And most men don't understand that. They don't want to learn from other men. They believe they know it all.
Yeah.
We believe that we know it all.
Yeah, the ego's just a tool. And so, yeah, back in 2019, I was in this lost point because my entire life I identified with this external shell, right? Of what I did. People I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a creator, whatever, all these labels.
Yeah.
And so I was an athlete, right? My entire life I was this athlete, and I went to college to play football, and after that came to an end pretty much in a day, I was in this void. I have no idea who I am or what I'm doing. And with that, there was a lot of frustration and anger because I'd never experienced that. It's all I knew my entire life. After that, went through a breakup, so that was another slap in the face. It's Mike Tyson came out of nowhere and just yo, sit down, fool. And I go through that period, and I was lost for a year and a half, bro. I had no idea anything. We call it depression, call it the void, the vacuum of hell, whatever you want to call it. That's what it was. And I go through that. And then there was finally one day, it's a year and a half, 2 years later, this last couple of years of college, I think it was my junior year towards the end, where I'd looked at myself finally in the mirror, and I did not like who I saw. I didn't like it internally and externally. I was who have I become? How have I let myself get to this point? And I look at myself in the mirror, and there was this moment of grace where something internally just flipped a switch. And I was I'm done being this way. And so this fire ignited where I started diving into self-development, went into the entry-level stuff like The Secret, which led me down the rabbit holes into books like The Power of Now, right? So I started learning meditation while I was on my fitness journey. And as I was going deeper into this meditation experience, one night, I remember I was laying in my bed, I was meditating, I'm looking up at my ceiling fan, and as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about this concept that was coming up of how our different levels of being are attached to different levels of experience. So for example, being in the body, right, and learning how to move through the world in our body was similar to like being on earth, or like if we live in the mind, we're living in hell, right? And so as soon as we transcend that and we live in the spirit and we flow, we're in heaven. And so I'm having this realization where I'm looking up at the ceiling fan in front of me, it's spinning around, and as I'm looking at this thing, I don't know what else to say other than time collapsed and I became the ceiling fan. There was nothing of me left, and I was in this state of non-duality where I felt this overwhelming peace and clarity, and everything in my life made sense, and tears start rolling out of my eyes, and it's like I literally saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I was in it. And so I got this glimpse of the ultimate reality, and I didn't do anything to like, I didn't take anything to get there. There was this literally just grace and gift from the creator, source, God, whatever you want to put the name to. And I experienced that. And since then, it's been like seeing this light that's guided me, almost like a moth wants to go to a lamp. And I've been on this journey of self-mastery and going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper to fully know myself and the soul. It's taken me to some weird places, like crazy experiences. But yeah, I'm at this point where I kind of feel like every single day I'm this GTA character.
We are.
I mean, we are. And it's just like, even more so than the financial world and the mental worlds of what we hear the Matrix is, like the deeply spirit-led, free-flow life of spirit. When you hear the song "Spirit Lead Me," it's like that's what it feels like.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I'm just floating through this thing where, the gift of that is being able to touch people with just your presence alone. And so like ever since I was young, I had this desire to be able to not only support myself, but live a fully aligned life, whatever that looks like, driven by soul and just being myself. I just wanted to be myself and be able to make money doing that. Like money would come out of me. I would generate money, from being myself and expressing. And so far it's doing pretty well. And there's a lot of impact that's been made out of that.
Can you tell us a little bit about your company, the one that you have for you have an e-commerce company, correct?
Yeah. I've
For supplements.
Yeah, and I'm expanding out now, so there's a couple other brands too.
And I haven't heard that before because it's like organic. It's not really like the supplement.
Yeah.
So you sell and
I brought the wherever my bag is, can't see it in the light, but I brought the pre-workout. You can try it at some point.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if you want to watch it, yeah. You want to scoop? Yeah, it's cool. But anyway, yeah, my brand I started in 2021. Thank you, bro. Is the Stampede Network. It's a holistic performance supplement brand. And so I went through this journey of mind, body, and spirit. You gotta check it.
Papa Gains right here.
Papa Gains in the house.
Yes,
Go.
sir.
Yeah, this thing is the ultimate breed.
I don't take any. We will go into it because I don't take any supplements anymore.
Yeah.
I'm fully natural. I don't even eat carbs if I'm not with my mom.
Yeah.
I really take myself to that limit.
Yeah.
And I fast. I fast a lot. Yeah. And I think it has taken me to crazy places.
Yeah, bro. They use supplements to replace instead of supplement.
Correct.
It's like, it's not going to fix all of your problems. It's going to add benefits to when you fix the root.
Correct.
So if you're already below baseline, it's only going to get you to baseline. So you don't know what it can do for you. And so, yeah, anyway, I started this thing with the ethos of helping people not only make their lives better, but heal internally, right? So it's like I actually want to help people fix themselves from the inside out. That's the focus. Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy. That's what I do with people in here. This is
That's why we're aligned,
my
bro.
basic product where basically I want to show people that we have patterns
Yes.
that are not ours. It's just from our family or whoever raised us.
Now we're getting into it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because this is the product, the first little product that I need people to understand and have that foundation.
Yeah.
Is the mindset. I need you to understand how your mind works. It's the most powerful thing.
Yeah.
And also, it's your biggest enemy. And if you know how to put yourself in the situation that you need to be at the certain moment,
Yeah.
boy, you're taking over.
Bro, that's what we were talking about last night when we were meditating at the club. It's like, I never go out. Like, there's no appeal to me for it, honestly. But I was like, you know what? I think this would be a good test of, like, why does my ego not want to go out and do this? And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. It really wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it at all. But it was, like, interesting to be sitting there and be in the state of presence and observe people. But, like, part of the conversation was, you know, we go our whole lives believing that we have deficiencies in something. Like, we come out whole. We're born whole. And we come into this world that is already feeling broken in sin, which means separation, right? And so it's like this world is feeling separated. People are separated and they project that separation onto you. So, for example, like your mother or father, they had some wound. They project it onto you, and without even consciously knowing it, they create this attachment and addiction where it's like you are their little vampire or victim that they're sucking energy off of, whether they like feel a lack of worth. They get the worth from turning you into something. So it's like they actually take you out of your free will and your flow, transform you to their vision. You start feeling deficient and not whole, right? And so then your whole life becomes this journey to make up for your deficiency. So it's like if you didn't feel like you were worthy when you're young, you're going to go your whole life trying to prove yourself, right? To who other than yourself? And it's this journey to wholeness and this illusion where it's like, bro, you were already whole.
You know, it's crazy. I used to live like that before I understood that, and I changed my mindset. And it's crazy because I used to live the way that you mentioned you're a GTA character. It was the whole opposite. I was living for others. I was like, what can they expect? Now it's like me. I'm in my own console, and it's like, look at these NPCs. I can do all this stuff. It's like, it's a whole totally different game.
It's way different. You pierce through the veil.
Correct.
I had this will resonate with you, I know. But there was another meditation. Dude, my meditations, they go crazy. It goes deep. They go deep, and it's like voices and stuff come through. There was one a while ago where I was meditating on my purpose. And so I was in bed, and I'm really deep state, bro. I'm in like theta brainwaves. For those that don't know, your brain has different states. Vibrations? Yeah. It's like most people live in beta, and that's why we're stressed in the U.S. especially. We're just high focus, like very charged and directed. To receive intuition, you want to be in alpha, which is like a relaxed state where you're open. So like right now as we bounce ideas, we're definitely in alpha. And then the first 7 years of our life, which is why we don't remember it, is theta brainwave. And so you also are in this state right before you fall asleep and right when you wake up. And so I was probably in theta at this meditation point. And I think it was Edison who used to do this thing too, where he would sit in a chair and he'd have this metal ball. And as he would drift off, he'd have an idea. He'd think in his mind, he'd have an intent of, hey, I want something to come to me. He'd have this metal ball and like a pan on the ground. And so he'd be in the chair and he'd drift off and fall asleep. And the ball would drop out of his hand and hit the pan. And so when it would ding, he'd be like, and in that moment, he'd have an intuitive idea come in that gave him the answer.
In that precise moment of that state.
Yeah. Yeah, because he'd be in that theta brainwave where he's extremely receptive to the unconscious, right? That realm.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, you know, you wake up and it's like, boom.
And you had the idea right there.
Yeah, installation, which means, in spirit from within. So it's like you have to like, wake up. Yeah, like you did that method. Anyway, I was in that state. And as I'm meditating on what my purpose is, my intent was to really know my purpose. Bro, it was so crazy. And I still have the note from back then when I like wrote this down at 3 a.m. I don't know when it was. But this voice came out of nowhere like a train. It was loud as a train, like a thunderous voice that said, "See the unseen," to me. And when I heard that, it was like when you have a skydiving dream and you hit the ground and you're like, whoa, and you crash in the crowd. You're like, what was that? You know, I shot up and I was like, yo, that was not my voice. It was power. That was a power voice. maybe it's the voice of God. Yeah, I know it was, but whatever perception you have of that, it was something that was so deeply communicated in a way where it could not be missed. And that was the power of see the unseen has driven my life since then. And there's been so many, I spent 2 years trying to figure out what that was. And I'd see synchronicities of videos where it's like, you need to learn how to see the unseen realms or see what is not seen. And this thing just guided me throughout my journey so much, where eventually I got to this point as I was diving deeper into religion again and Christianity. I was doing this experiment. I was learning this when I read The Secret, I had this experiment, this thing they have you do, where it's like, have a book, have an intent of what you want, and then just open it, and it'll take you right to the page you need.
It has happened to me.
Yeah, and so I have this Bible, bro, and I'm trying to figure out this see the unseen thing. I do it. I'm like, yeah, tell me what this is. I open it up. Hebrews 11:1. So it's like also too 111 is guiding me. It's like the reason I moved to Tampa, right? So I was in Ohio still. I was trying to figure out if I was going to make this leap, and I get a call from the apartment complex. They're like, yeah, so the one you applied for actually just got taken, but we did have one open up. It's apartment 111. Do you want to jump on it? I was like, that's the sign, bro. Of course. Yeah, and so anyway, I go to Hebrews 1:11 is the verse that pops up. And the verse is, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And I was like, wow, bruh. I was being told to have faith the entire time. That's been my message and the thing that I'm here to carry and learn in myself so I can show others how to see the unseen and carry the faith in their own life. Whatever that means to them. It's like so esoterically, it doesn't make sense, but it's so powerful. And I don't know how we got on this tangent, but
You need to be crazy enough to also believe in God and believe in yourself and believe all this stuff that, like you said, you need to see the unseen, because it's crazy. I found God recently, like a couple months back, and it's just been a whole transformative, different way of seeing the world. I've been very spiritual by myself, grounding myself, doing breath work, doing meditations, doing yoga. But then now with, I don't know, calling it God and actually having next to me is just different. I feel like everything is meant to be, and he's putting things my way. Like, I can't even describe it.
Yeah.
You know?
So tell me your experience with that, like in that.
So I encountered God going to church, and I had a different perspective about church. So what I talk in the book about church is not what I think about now.
I get what you're saying.
Because I thought church, it was, this community where it's all these believers where they have to give, they need to donate their money and all this stuff. And when I went to the church, that's what I felt. Yeah. And I was like, damn, like it's really what I thought. But then I kept going because, I don't know, I had a higher energy calling me like, you need to go.
Yeah.
And so the word of God for me, is more than wisdom.
Yeah.
Now I see the power of the word of God, and also who the pastor is. The pastor is full of abundance, and he's my father, spiritual father. And so he's guiding me through this spiritual journey where, like, I had an encounter with God, like the third time I went to church, and it was just so powerful. I was like, wow, he was always there.
Yeah.
And
what was your encounter like?
So I was in a Zoom meeting with one of my partners in the marketing agency. He's a really, really believer in God. And he was just talking about God. And then, like, I told him, bro, I think I just had an experience. So I was talking to him. I was telling him about my experience in church. And then I move around. I see a picture of Jesus. I have a little card next to my office of my friend. He died. And I had this card that they gave it to you. And so I look at it, and I had an experience where, like, we didn't talk for like 2 minutes. I was just like, I don't know. I wasn't there. And so I come back, and he was like, yo, what's that? Like, you okay? And I was like, bro, I think I just had an encounter with God. And he told me, well, when we're speaking, like, there's two people speaking together. His presence is there, whatever. He was telling me all this stuff, and I was just like, bro, like, you don't understand. I think I just, like, had an encounter with him. Like, it feels real. And what I felt in those 2 minutes, it was like he was always there for all the situations that I've been through. So, for example, almost died in a motorcycle accident. He was there. I didn't die because I don't know. He hold me. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah.
I can't really describe what happened, but I just had this feeling and this encounter, like he was always there.
Yeah, dude, that's like what I was saying about the ceiling fan thing is so similar to that. Probably the same thing. But it's like, yeah, everything makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Everything makes sense. And it's so easy to get lost. You know, when there's so many distractions keeping you away from your soul. You know, I really believe that's why most people are lost, is because there's literally so much to do that people aren't focusing on being.
Facts. Let me ask you something. Have you ever done neurofeedback? That you were talking about the brain states and brain frequencies.
No, I haven't done any methods with it. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I actually did. That's how I understand.
Maybe I have. I don't know.
So how do you learn about the brain states and the frequencies?
It's just reading books, studying
I see.
it, going through it myself.
There's
a great book called The Warrior's Meditation.
Okay.
It's how the samurais would like prep for battle.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Richard L. Haidt.
Okay.
I think everyone should read it because it's an active meditation. So basically, it was like a method they would do to drop into alpha. Because imagine if you're in a like sword fight, katanas and shit, bro. If you think for a second, you're getting your head chopped off.
So basically,
yeah. So they would go into this active meditation to enter flow state. So when they're in it, they don't get in their own way and they can flow, and it makes them combative.
wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy because if you put it in perspective nowadays, if you do that, you can go through your day like that and go through the battles in business and stress and pressure.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I do a lot of things unconsciously. So how I wrote this book, I wrote the book, then I watched The Matrix, and I was like, damn, shit is same thing.
Yeah.
And then I keep doing stuff. Then I realized, like, wow, I did it because of this reason. And so when I realized all this stuff with God, it's like He's been guiding me through do all this stuff, like write the book, put this together, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then after, I get to understand why you did that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even question it. I just like, I feel like I gotta do it. Do you know how many mentors of mine, they were like, bro, you're 22 years old. Why are you writing a book? What experience you got?
Yeah.
And I was just like,
How old? You're 22.
22. And I was like, I feel like I have to do it. Like, come on. Like, I'm gonna still be working with you. I'm still ready from you.
There's not a reason, you know?
Correct. But they were still like pushing me. Like, don't waste your time. They were like, you're too much busy being busy. And I'm like, okay, it's things that I gotta do for, I don't know. I feel like now I need to give so much, like you said. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter who it is. It's the lady in the elevator, or the lady in downstairs. I gotta give her as much value as I can. If I have an energy calling me, like I need to give her the book, I will give it to her.
Yeah, and that's a gift, bro. It's a gift. It's like,
And they'll
full abundance back.
Yeah.
Or you're in scarcity.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so, for example, the other day I gave it to my neighbor. I always see him smoking, and I see him like, I don't know, like thinking about life. I go depressed, and I was like, I'm gonna talk to him. And I talked to him. I was like, oh man, do you read books? And he was like, no. And I was like, will you read my book? And he was like, nah. And I was like,
at least he's honest.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what if I told you that it will teach you about your mind and it will change your life completely? He was like, give it to me right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, bro, I was just given some power. I think the word, it has so much power,
Yeah.
and it's just how you use it.
That's truth. Bro.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. And so after I tell him like what the book is gonna do for him, if I really put that belief, it will work out for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. I mean,
So-
the truth is like, as soon as you deliver the truth, you're delivering God. Amen. It's synonymous.
Amen.
Like it can't. The truth does not exist without God. We think these like separate concepts are separate, but it's one. You know, and so anything not aligned with that is literally living your life in hell. Lying is living in hell. You know, like you sit there and you know the truth. It's like it holds on to you over and over and over. And so, yeah, as soon as you deliver that word of truth, that vibration of truth, because it has a frequency.
Yeah.
You know the scale of consciousness. Obviously, you're got to be tapped into that.
Yeah.
Truth is actually higher than love. Authenticity is a higher vibration than love. You know, and people strive for love their whole life, but the highest love is being unconditionally yourself. That's unconditional love. That's truth. And with that, you also piss people off, you trigger them, but that's also a gift, because it's like, how many times in their life have they been triggered to sit there and look at themselves too? You know,
Right.
there's a reason your haters stick around after you piss them off. It's like, y'all are still watching me, but you comment like,
Right,
what,
correct.
there's something inside of you. Is like, at least like look at yourself.
Well, you know what we're saying is true.
Yeah, they know it's true. And it's just like, they don't want to acknowledge that. Meanwhile, they know it because they're living in fear, right? And so it's like, I had this
The
massive,
lower state.
yeah, bro, and I had this massive perception shift where I used to like go hard on my TikTok, bro, when I was building it up. I was going off on NPC types, right? People who just don't think. I was like, y'all are bots, you're drones, like get your head out of your ass and start thinking.
What are you doing in life?
It's just all types of videos, bro. I was doing lives, I was doing
That actually, I did that sometime. I was getting into that point where like I was doing lives to provide value, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it to a lot of people and do it like a private, public event where it's live. Everybody can join, ask questions, whatever.
yeah.
And then they will ask the random ass questions, stupid, like they're not thinking. And I'm like, brother, do you understand all the value that I just gave you? It's Friday night.
Yeah.
A bunch of people is going out. You're actually listening to me, getting value. What is going on with you?
Yeah.
Like
It's like, what are you're sitting here on your phone watching me, bro? Like, at least do something about it.
correct.
And so, yeah, anyway, like, I used to be really annoyed and aggressive towards them. Like, hardcore, dude. I mean, I was an asshole.
Right, I believe you.
I had a lot of anger.
Eh,
And then in the past year, there's been this switch internally where,
God, I can assure you it was God.
yeah, and it was finding more God, going into the truth of myself and like having the eyes to see why I was angry and my underlying beliefs and motives. It's like, hey, why do I believe this about that person? And finding in myself how much I've judged myself. You know, it's like until I gave myself the grace that I wanted from God, I couldn't receive it. So it's like I had to actually lead the way. You know, it's like God wants me to be sovereign. It's like you're made in the image of God, so you are meant to be sovereign. He'll be there with you, but it's like a good parent isn't gonna be like holding your hand forever. He's gonna help you gain your own two legs and become yourself, not him, 100%. And so it's like that sovereignty comes from really looking at yourself and taking full accountability and responsibility for your emotions, which is the hardest thing to do. You know, that's why it's so easy to go do a plant medicine or go to church. And like all these things really comes down to like surrendering to your emotions and feeling it. And so as I went through this journey, there was less self-judgment, less like shame and guilt for what I've been doing, and seeing, wow, I do judge a lot of people because I've been judging myself so hard.
And mirror effect.
Yeah, like I've been talking so much shit to myself. So I'm aggressive with other people. And so with that, there's been this sense of forgiveness. I've been able to forgive myself at the deep level and apologize to myself and make that relationship with the younger version of me that needed that. You know, going through these self-hypnosis sessions in a way and being able to feel that connection fully. And with that, it's like I've seen this light of people where it's like even when people do stupid things, like really dumb things, they'll be jackasses, and it's like instead of hating them for that though, I can see behind it where it's like, you know, it's this journey of learning, and most people really are in fear, and like their egos are just holding them up. Like I was in the elevator the other day, and this guy gets in so hot and heavy, and this woman was like pressing multiple buttons. I think she's trying to find, I'm just watching like, what are you doing? You know, and I don't know what she's trying to do. But this guy was getting so pissed, like looking at her, and she hops off. He's like, God, these Miami bitches, they're idiots, right? I'm like, what is it? And I'm like, what's up, man? And he's like, man, it's so nice being on the top floor and looking down at all these peasants. I'm just like, listening to this guy. I'm like, I feel so bad for you. I was like, you're really hurting inside, bro. You know, and I didn't feel I needed to have this conversation in an elevator, but it's like you can see through it. And there's so many people, and I've done it too, like I'm not guilty of that, of being in this like facade of superiority or protecting yourself, which keeps you from actually seeing the light inside and getting what you want. It's like you get elevated when you elevate other people through allowing yourself to break down.
Mm-hmm.
You have to sink to be elevated,
Correct.
right? And so, yeah, man, it's just new perception. It's changed so many things. It's allowed for more impact by actually trying to be less impactful, which is, the polarity of it, or the paradox. And I don't know what I'm doing now, but it's nice.
But now you're able to see that on people because you work it out inside.
Yeah.
And that happens to me as well. I'm able to see their inside, and I'm able to learn so much about what's going on in reality in them. Why they're so angry, why they're doing this, why they're doing that. Let me just give you an example with my coach. My coach, boxing, he was a professional coach. He was huge. He wasn't a coach. He was a professional boxer. And so right now he's just a coach. But that what I just said, use a coach. He could be a business owner. He could be like huge in this category that he built for himself, his image.
Yeah.
And now that he got me in his path, I'm showing him ways to like structure businesses, structure his way of doing business with his own clients.
Yeah.
He's bringing investors to real estate, to private equity funds for trading, all this stuff that he doesn't even know what we're doing. But I'm putting him in the perspective of there is so much out there, and I'm exposing him to these opportunities.
Yeah.
And so it's just people that they don't know better. So once you understand that I'm pretty sure you do, it's like you kind of like, you load out your guard and you're like, I need to guide them.
Yeah, dude,
And you can, because you already went inside, and it's like, listen, I can guide you. Like, I know where you have to be right now.
Yeah, bro. One of the best quotes I heard was from Garrett J. White. I love Garrett J. White. Masculine speaker, performance guy, for those that don't know. But he said, you can't lead others to truth from a land of lies. It's like, wow, this makes so much sense. My whole life I was trying to like solve in other people what I hadn't solved in myself, and getting frustrated when I wouldn't get the results. And you can't. And as soon as ironically I gave up, and I was like, I actually quit helping other people. I'm going to go fully in on myself. The aura, like your aura increases, and it helps them heal anyway, just being in your presence.
I was like, happy with my family, bro.
I made this TikTok, dude. I was going to keep this so pissed off on this, bro. I was like, listen, guys, stop trying to save your family. You're never going to save your family. You're wasting your time. And you're like, it's not your job to help them. And I was like, whoa, it's like, I was the same way. As soon as I was done trying to change their diets, change the way they live, their emotional problems, their habits, all the time, I was like done, bro. And all of a sudden it's like they're meditating, they're taking supplements, they're fixing their diet, getting rid of the seed oils, like being calm and collected. And it's like, whoa, I didn't do anything other than actually remove myself.
Because now you're also showing them you're working on yourself and you're different.
Yeah.
So that happened with me, the way I treated them, the way I do my things, the habits. Once I move out, that was like 2 years back.
Yeah.
It was a whole total different thing. I feel in the beginning I have fear. Being honest with you, I have fear. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I also had faith. I had more fear than faith.
Yeah.
So that little faith is that pushed me to the point that like, okay, I'm moving out.
Yeah.
And then it's that higher energy that I'm always going for. That's my faith. I have a higher calling. I go for it.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, my friend told me I don't get influenced by nobody. It's just like that higher calling. I got to do it.
Yeah.
So I do it, and then month one pass by, nothing happens. I'm a little bit better. Business is going well. I'm sustaining myself. It's okay.
Yeah.
But then month 2, month 3, month 4, I can see the difference between their habits and my habits, and the things that I don't have them around anymore. I don't have to listen to them. I don't have the habits around. So their influence on whatever they speak, whatever they do. My father-in-law, he watched a lot of TV, a lot of soccer.
Yeah.
He's like a fan, like a big fan. So I didn't have to hear that anymore. I didn't have to listen to them anymore, complaining about their business problems or whatever. I was just like in a higher state all the time, and I was just like, wow, this is powerful.
You realize how much it like just pulls you down in this like entanglement is a word I learned, and I love that. It's just like these entanglements. They keep you stuck and you can't see anything. There's no clarity.
Correct.
Like if you're not empty to a point and there's nothing there. That's like everyone's so scared of the void. I hated the void, bro. I was in the void for the past few months actually, but able to embrace it at a way deeper level and understanding. It's like the void is where transformation happens. Like you're not going to transform as you already are.
Correct.
You have to lose yourself and then something else comes back. It's like a forest burns down after a wildfire, but a better one comes back bigger, stronger, more full of life. You have to allow yourself to die. Like if you don't die, you can't live.
What my breaking point where I figure out my mindset and all those patterns that I told you about, it was in a retreat. My mom took me to Colombia, and it was called Reborn.
Wow.
So, like you said, like you need to let that past version of yourself die, so you can reborn and create this new version that you want, that you actually want. All these lives that you've been living has been your families, your friends, your people surroundings, whatever you see in social media, whatever society is showing you that you're supposed to be this way or you're supposed to do this way. No.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do whatever you need to create for yourself.
Yes, bro. No, I mean, I took a bunch of guys down to El Salvador in June.
I think I saw a video of that. I was savage.
Bro, it was the most aligned thing I've ever done.
I need to start doing those things. Yes.
Yeah, I called it the Awakening Expedition. And so I wanted to, because like I said, I did plant medicine, which is like ayahuasca, climbed to the top of Kilimanjaro, right? So I went to the depths of my soul. I went to the tallest freestanding mountain on earth. And it was like this complete polar opposite. And it collapsed me into this realization of, wow, I want to help people unify.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I thought it was this.
Oh, this? No, this is like a habit chain. So it has like 3 days on each of these. Every 3 days you put a new one on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got to change my habit up actually. But yeah, so like I've been on this journey of like helping dudes especially. That's where I feel the most called right now. Helping them find that wholeness that we're talking about. And so I took them down to El Salvador on this awakening expedition. It was a mix of activating the masculine energy of the external. So we'd go on an expedition, like crazy external activities. One of them was a temazcal. You've done temazcal? So temazcal is like a Mayan sweat lodge sauna thing. It's clay dome. And you go in there, you basically suffocate to death for an hour. Right, so they make it hot. It's dark, completely pitch black. Right, it gets, I don't know what the temperature was, but you're literally like, and then we're like dying in there, and you have no choice but to face your fears in front of you. And there's like drumming and all this stuff that's split off into different parts of it. So you go through like a body part of it, mind, emotion, and spirit, and these are all cleansing.
Are you in psychedelics at this point or not?
No, it was it's inspired by them, but I did it in a sober state.
Wow.
So it's like I designed this whole thing off of plant medicine and my journeys, but to give people that experience without them, like wow, to bring it to them. And so yeah, we go on this like masculine destruction of the ego type thing, like put yourself in a hard situation, break yourself down, really hit your edge, and then we mix it in with the internal work of, things like breath work, the meditation, going within, rewiring your thoughts. I was doing, like you could call it hypnosis. It was more intuitively guided, like introducing them to themselves. I realized my gift is in this gift of empathy and emotional resonance. I'm going to call it. I just made that up. But it's like when I'm talking with someone in these states, I almost have this ability where it's like, when we're speaking, those games in the arcade where the light goes back and forth, you slap it, and then you try and stack the next one, it goes faster and faster. I could communicate with these guys where it's like I can sense the lie. It's like this game of find the lie. And so this tension comes up and I like grab it. I'm like, all right, we're going to dive in if you want to go in. I'm not going to force them to, but it's like, do you want to go on this journey? So I find it, and then we go again, another layer, and I can feel in myself this whatever the energy is they're feeling, whether it's like a rage, I could feel like energy of anger coming up. I'll feel angry, or like a sadness coming up, and I can feel this point where if it's a sadness, like I'll feel like I'm about to tear up, and it's like boom, this key unlocks, and they just start bawling in tears, bro. Like, they just completely release. And it's the most beautiful, freeing, transcendent experience, bro. It is the most fulfilling thing. Like, seriously, it's God coming through. It's not me doing it, but there's so much. I mean, bro, like 7 guys in a row who have not released emotion in like 15 years. Boom, 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 breaking down, breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. It's just like bawling like babies, bro.
No, I can only imagine.
And it is, dude, it is so healing to see that. So there's this like deep connection of destroying the ego, reconnecting yourself, and unifying it and coming together and finding that wholeness within, and realize like you don't have to do anything to find your worth. And it's just like seeing that and clearing out the blocks that are preventing you from seeing what's already inherently true. Like, clear out the lies that are fogging you from the truth. And that's what these are. It's hard for me to describe it other than this like journey to know yourself. I call it tapping into the God frequency. Right? It's like, it's a good name. Yeah, it's like a radio. It's like you got to turn the knob to find the right channel. When you hit the one, it's like boom, all of a sudden you get the transmission.
No, facts.
Yeah. And so these like God frequency journeys. Next one's in February. I'm doing that one in Joshua Tree. I've never been, but I heard it's just like a spiritual vortex. So gonna be doing that out there with like alpine expeditions, and then also bringing it back into this super dope like 18-bedroom mansion, and really go deep into the meditation side of things at this one. Really focus more on the internal work, lean more that way than the external, because they change each one. But yeah, like that thing that I experience with them, that's like what I feel I'm here to do at this point. And it came from nothing more than being able to do that with myself and creating that emotional clearance. Anyone can do it.
Yeah, but how I perceive this is that you have a higher calling as a servant.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's what I feel as well. Like I build my businesses and money and all that is good.
Yeah.
But also I have something higher that fulfills my spirit, and it's like something that drives me more than money or a bigger company or a bigger car or whatever it is. Like it's out of the materialistic thing. It's just more like meaningful.
Yeah.
And he fulfills you. You feel whole. You feel like you're actually here for a purpose. It's not just like another person just making money.
Yeah.
Making money.
Yeah, it's like you hang out with I hang out with the ecom dudes, just like, hey bro, I'm just like job shipping. I'm like,
Another dude. You know how many dudes I know like you? Listen, it's hundreds.
I'm like, bro, come on. Like, this ain't you, dog. Like, tell me about like some stuff you gone through, you know, like the real shit.
For sure.
You know, and once you like get to that level, everyone's wanting that, but they just feel like they can't hold that for themselves. It's like, you know, vulnerability has become this like enemy, but it's the ultimate strength. And to be a leader, you have to be not like, let me a little like vulnerable baby. Like, you can be real about, hey, this is my experience. I'm going through, sharing that. It's like that starts from holding that space from yourself and just like allow yourself to experience these things that are bottled up. I've literally laid on a bed for a day straight doing nothing. Like, felt like, especially as an entrepreneur, you know, there's this tendency to, along the journey, to just do things all the time, like constant busy work. And there's never being work, right? So when you finally relax and you make the time to do nothing, I sat an entire day in my bed and just laid there, staring at the ceiling, going through the grief process of losing my identity and all the emotions of like the tension and the conflict that comes from not doing things, letting certain relationships go, certain attachments.
Being disattached.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, it sucks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a horrible, painful experience where you go through sadness and pain and fear, like absolute panic, gone through panic and feeling like I was gonna die, uncertainty, shame. All of a sudden, though, it's like started rising back up into this like confidence, and then I hit this point of peace. And it's like a spiritual surgery just happened. From without having to do anything. It's just allowing, God's just like, hey, let me fix you, bruh. It's like, I got it. It's like, okay, you know what? When he's ready, he's ready.
Correct.
It's like a good parent would do that. Like, I'm not going to force the lesson on you. It's like, you can learn it, and when you're ready, come back.
No, facts. And so, for example, like you said, the leaders, for when you're a leader, you need to embrace whatever situation you're going through or the company is going through and up first so others can up and as well.
Yeah.
And you need to be vulnerable, like you said. Like, you need to tell them, like, look, I'm also like a human. I'm just like you guys.
Yeah.
But just because you're the leader, you just need to show them that we're strong. Like, you need to empower them.
Yes.
With the words. Like, that's why for me the words are so important. The words that you use. Right now my language is my first language was in English. So I'm trying to master the communication in English.
Yeah.
Because I believe like the words are so important. The words that you use on people.
Yeah.
And people can take it a whole different perspective. Like, it's just a whole total different thing if you say the same thing but a different way.
Bro, you were like, compared to people born here though, you were, from my eyes, a way better communicator than any of them I met because you do it at a soul level. Right? So it transcends the noise.
I see.
You know, it's like the way you speak, your vibration just carries truth.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if we think of word, like the word of God, what is a word made of?
Code.
Yeah, noise, like frequency. And you listen to Tesla, it's like, you listen to the frequency, vibration. Yeah, that's the key to everything. So it's like we think we can really wrap our entire reality into a single, like, sentence. You can't. You can't even write a full book about it. You could, but it doesn't encapsulate the whole thing. Right? It extends way more. I gotta get some water.
Are you
Going off. Yeah, but it's like you can put it in a book, but it's only a little tiny bit of the infinite.
No, facts.
How do you finite the infinite? You can't.
You just gotta keep being you and living. Yeah, there's no way to like just find it.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
I was doing a video this morning and it was just about that. I'm really detached to everything, and I also don't have any like you said, like I don't have an entity. Like I don't know how to call myself because I don't know what I'm doing. Like you said,
Yeah.
like they can call me author, they can call me entrepreneur, they can call me business owner, they can call me so many things, and it's like I'm not entitled to any of those.
No.
I'm just me.
You're expressing.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it just comes out of you.
And I'm disattached to everything, relationships, materialistic stuff. Like, I'm just here to like be.
Yeah, and it's so freeing. You know, you get everything you're trying to get as soon as you stop trying to get it.
Correct.
And as soon as you stop trying to take it on as your identity, your real identity shines through and you get it. Dude, my throat's so like, whoa, hold on.
And people don't even get it, you know, when they say like, "Oh, don't chase, attract." They think it's like, "Oh yeah, what the hell am I gonna attract?" Rather, if you understood, you could attract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you understand yourself at a deeper level. There we go. If you understood yourself at a deeper level, then like you have everything.
Correct.
It's like you didn't not ever. When you're a kid, you're just imagining things out in the yard, being an idiot and like having fun with life.
Fact.
You don't see many kids who are, until like parental guidance or external beliefs come in, you don't see many kids who hate life. You know, until something external decides that they should. Or an experience is like really hard and traumatic. You know, it's like most people come out very pure and clean.
But we're programmed. I think we're programmed every time that we grow up at a different age.
Yeah.
So they put these responsibilities and they put this stuff and they put them on your shoulders and you start getting heavy and like it's like at some point that you can't even carry it. It's like I don't even know what I'm carrying. I haven't checked the stuff that I'm carrying.
Yeah.
You don't know because you're programmed. It's just like you keep going. You don't check like what you're carrying.
And that's the gift. You know, it's good because that's what gives you strength to carry it.
Facts.
My dude wrote is like,
It's
yeah. Give me one second. You gotta gurgle.
We can always stop. We can always stop. Break.
Yeah, we're chilling. Maybe they like some
roads.
Yeah, some chill time. Good night.
And so in your journey right now, that you have experienced, success in your business with e-commerce that give you the freedom to now be a servant of life and give back to people. Yeah. Now that you receive the gift, because that's how I see it. It's a gift. And all this external stuff that we have, they're just extra.
Yeah.
And so now for you, like, how do you see yourself in the future? Like, you see yourself like helping these people in a bigger facility? Like, what is your vision on that?
Yes, I mean, I'm going to Joe Dispenza in November.
Nice.
Get a taste of impact at that level. Bro, I think it's because I was like talking so loud in the club last night. My voice is like trash right now. Kind of like this like period of chill. Yeah, so I'm going to Dispenza to get a taste of like what that impact is like at a bigger level. That's what I see. I used to have all these like ideas of, dude, what the fuck? This is weird.
No, it has happened to me. If you spoke a lot yesterday or anything.
Dang. Okay. Well, guys, if my voice just crashes or glitches out, brought to you by Obi over here. Yeah, so I mean, like, I used to have all these like crazy ambitions. Now it's just I want to express more. Whatever that means.
I see. No, I totally understand. Yeah. With Joe Dispenza, for example, I have learned a lot about the mind, and the subconscious mind is just so powerful.
Yeah.
And once you get to understand it and how to play with it, how to tap in that information that you don't have access to right now, but
yeah,
if you really tap in, you can.
Yeah.
And so I think you're heading to a really big wave where you're impacting a lot of lives.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, I've realized when I plan my goals and vision, what I get is way better when I try not to. So I'm fully surrendering to that and like focusing on expressing myself fully in the moment, whatever that is. Like, if I want to cough my ass off, I'm gonna do it. It's like, I'm not gonna try and be perfect. And so with that, whatever I'm meant to do is gonna come to me. My highest vision is just the highest version of me.
No facts.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not meant to be tolerated. You're meant to enjoy.
Yeah, I'm correct. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be.
No, correct.
So, yeah.
Well, brother, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being part of the...
Yeah, it's a good time to end it before I freaking tap out.
You're good, brother. I mean, at least we got to...
Yeah, we got
the conversation. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I hope you guys took notes and, if you could give your social so I can follow you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me up at Mason Kuhr, MASONKUHR. Check out what I'm building with the brands.
Yeah, better tap in.
Yeah, the Awakening Expeditions. Hit me up, DM me. My voice operates a lot better over text. So. There you go.
All right.